My name is Engr Ganiyu Aliyu. I'm the General Manager, Program Coordination.
What are your assignments as a GM Program Coordination?
Thank you very much. The Program Coordination is the one that is coordinating the 4 project management units that were created in 2017 by the current management. Before 2017, we normally have one donor, that is the World Bank, that fund our projects. So that time, project management unit under World Bank was created. So now that we are now having more donors from African Development Bank, from Japanese International Cooperation Agency, from Islamic Development Bank, from Agency for Foreign Development. So the management created new project management units, and then my job function is to coordinate all these project management units and liaise with the federal government project in the TCN, because in those days what we normally have is that you see World Bank doing one project and the TCN headquarters is also running a similar project. Niger Delta Power Holding Company, when they were in NIPP, they would also be doing the same project. So the current management felt that we should all liaise together and create only one project, so that TCN, NIPP, World Bank PMU will not be doing the same project at the same time, so that there will not be conflicting amongst ourselves. So that's the reason why this office is now created, to liaise with them. Any project that is being handled with NIPP, we don't need to do that. Any project the World Bank is doing, African Development Bank do not need to do that. So this is the philosophy of the management, and they are now decided to create this office to coordinate this program. And of course, the management also went further by creating a program. When I say a program, a project is, when you have more projects, it becomes a program. So the program is for transmission, rehabilitation, and expansion program. So under this STREP, there are so many donors that are, giving us loan. So these loans are tied to each of the project management unit. So basically, this department is to coordinate all these projects together so that they will fall in line with the vision and mission of the TCN.
Currently, what are the ongoing projects under this office?
Thank you. Yeah, the ongoing projects are, just as you asked, are those projects that we are doing here in Abuja. We call it Abuja Feeding Scheme. That project is being sponsored by AFD, Agency for Foreign Development. It will interest you that this project is going to increase, double the capacity, the current capacity of what we have in Abuja. And they are located at, we have 2 number 330 kV substations under construction now, and we have 3 number 132 by 33 kV substations. The 330 kV substations are located at Pigba, we call it New Apple, and we have at Lube, we call it West Main, and of course we have 132 by 33 kV substations at Gwarimpa, at Lokogoma, and at Kuje. By the time we finish all these projects, you discover that TCN will have doubled the capacity of the current capacity of our transmission in Abuja. So all these projects were assigned, and the contractors were mobilized to site, and they are already working. But because of this COVID-19, they declare force majeure. So currently we are on force majeure, and we are managing the force majeure, so that as soon as the lockdown is eased out, they will return back to site.
Apart from COVID-19, are there other challenges to some of the projects being executed under this?
I will not say there are so much challenges, because what we the way we are doing business inside this TCN, the current management has changed it completely. You know, it was a case where some of the problems we were having before on project management inside this our headquarters has to do with the problem of lack of capacity on the side of some of these EPC contractors. Those ones have been solved out. Then, of course, the idea of demurrage in the port. The current management, it will interest you that the current management take a long stride by removing over 800 containers from the port. So, and going forward, we work with our expediting department to quickly get what we call IDEC. So when we get this IDEC, as our containers are coming from overseas, we will quickly take them and take them to the site. So we have been able to solve the problem of demorages. Then in the terms of the case of the capacity of the EPC, what we have done is that we have raised our criteria during our procurement so that it is only the giants that have the capacity that can win any of our bid. So that if they win the bid, then they will be able to deliver at the right time. Because we had a bad experience with some EPC contractors that do not have capacity, because they will not be able to deliver at the right time. So some of these challenges are being solved by the current management, and we are following the path, and we are making sure that all the EPC also that are the winner of our bids or the preferred bidders will, in our contract, we make sure that we package the contract in such a way that they will deliver at the right time.
Gone as far as saying what you've done to forestall to solve the challenges. So, sir, at this point, what would you like to tell Nigerians to do? What you would encourage them to do to complement the efforts of the government in providing these facilities?
Now, the first thing is that I want Nigerians to believe in the government, the effort this government, because there's no government that has been flexible when it comes in terms of projects like the current government, for your information. The previous government have not been flexible. Now, one other thing that I didn't mention to you that has been a challenge in project management in TCN headquarters is that sometimes contracts are awarded without feasibility studies, without environmental studies. The current management has done so much to make sure that before we even go into any contract to be awarded, we will first carry out the scoping, we carry out our in-house studies, system studies, then we will now procure consultants to carry out technical feasibility studies, and we also employ contractor to carry out consultant to carry out environmental studies. It is when we have all these one, and we now find out about those. In the environmental studies, there is something we call resettlement action plan. We make sure that we enumerate those people, if it is a transmission line or substation, we make sure that we enumerate them and we pay them, so that the challenges they normally have by the time when they are in the course of the project, that people the community will rise up and chase the contractor away, will not be there. So we will acquire the correct right of way, gazette it, acquire the substation land, gazette it, and we now move into action. That is how we have done under this Abuja feeding scheme, and it is working for us. And subsequently, this has also been introduced to most of our projects, whether federal government funded project, whether internally generated revenue funded project, or donor funded project. As my own case, I'm monitoring, I'm coordinating the donor funded projects. So with this one out of the problem, we want Nigerians to support the government. And when a project is brought to any locality, we create awareness and we want their support, because if a project is cited in a community, the community is going to benefit. It will create jobs. It will increase socio-economic activities in that area. And it will bring industrialization to that area. So the community should look at the long-run effect of the project, because it will assist them. Most youth that are not employed, they will get employment. So they need to give government that support and give Transmission Company of Nigeria that support too, so that we will jointly be able to solve the problem of poverty in Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you tell us about our planned projects, future projects, things to expect about projects?
Now, at the commencement of this, the current management, the view is to increase the capacity, our current capacity. When the current management came in, our capacity is just around 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts. By the effort of the management, they have increased the capacity to 8,000 megawatts. Now, the plan is that in the next, between now and year 2023, to increase the capacity from the current 8,000 megawatts to 20,000 megawatts. And based on that, the management has designed a program, which I earlier mentioned, Transmission, Rehabilitation and Expansion Program. And the management has now approached the donor agencies. Some of our supporting donor agencies is like the World Bank, the Agency for French Development, the African Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, and of course we are discussing with European Bank and some other banks like that. But for now, we have packaged some new projects, which under the World Bank we call it NETAP. NETAP is to increase the capacity of existing substation, so that we can create what we call N-1. When we say N-1 contingency, it is a situation where you have a substation that has 2x60 MVA, we will increase it with another 2x60 MVA, so that if we have a problem on any of our transformer, we can now transfer the load to another one that is redundant, so that the lost time, are you getting me, the downtime will decrease and we'll be able to feed customers. You can recollect that each of our transformers feeds so many areas. So if a transformer has a problem, or one of our units in one of our substations has a problem, it will affect so many people. So the effort of the management is to make sure that this loan, $486 million, that is to be collected, that is to be borrowed from the World Bank, will be used to increase the capacity of existing substation. That is number one. Number two, the management also packaged a project under African Development Bank. That project is to increase capacity of three of our current highways. When I say highway, there is a line going between Alauji Onitsha, 330 kV transmission line. It's a single circuit. Its capacity is around 300 megawatts. We want to increase it about 4 times to 5 times, because we are going to reconstruct the line from the current 300 megawatts to 2,400 megawatts using a quad transmission line. And for your information, this is the first time to introduce quad transmission line in Nigeria, even in Africa. There is nowhere you see quad transmission line. So we want to do that on Alauji Onitsha. We want to do the same thing on Bini Delta. And of course, the new Kaduna, that is from Mondo substation to a new substation called Rimin Zakara in Kano, we will do that. So that at the end of the day, we will have all this capacity. Under African Development Bank, under African Development Bank, we are going to create a new substation, 2 new 330 kV substation and 2 new 122 kV substation in Kaduna State. The 2 new 330 kV substation will be located in Zaria, and another one will be located in Millennium City in Kaduna State. The 2 new 122 by 33 kV substation, one will be located in Jaji, where there is military cantonment, and another one will be located in Rigasa, right in Kaduna town, so that it will relieve the power supply from Mondo substation and a substation called Kaduna Town TS. Then that is under African Development Bank. Then we have AFD, Agency for Foreign Development Bank. Under AFD loan, that loan is around $310 million. We are going to create what we call Northern Corridor line. That line we are increasing the we are constructing a new transmission line from Kainji to Kebbi, from Kebbi to Sokoto, from Sokoto to, we'll go via what we call Kauranamoda to link up with Katsina, from Katsina to Daura, from Daura to Wiwa, from Wiwa to Jugana and Kano. It will be a loop so that it will complement the current line that is going between Kaduna and Kano. And of course, there are so many plans. We want to create many loops so that if one line has a problem, we can feed through another line. Then there are some other 122 kV substations under that. In Niger State, a place called Lambata, we are going to turn out the current line that is coming from Shiroro to Suleja and create 122 by 33 kV substation there. There is a place called Brinungwari. We are going to create a substation. There is a line going from Tegina to Brinungwari. That line is being fed at 33 kV now. But under this northern corridor, we'll create a substation in Brinungwari and put 132 by 33 kV substation there. Of course, in Arugungu, we'll put another. There is a line existing coming from Sokoto, from Kebbi to Sokoto. We'll turn out at a place called Arugungu and create a substation there. All these ones are under AFD, called Northern Corridor. Then, of course, we have the project under JICA. We call it Lagos Ogun project. Under this Lagos Ogun project, we are going to have about 4 new 330 kV substations in that area. In Likosi, in Makogi, in MFM, Mountain of Fire, and of course, another one in Badagry. So we are going to, by the time we finish our project, we'll increase the capacity of the total power that is being wheeled by TCN in that area, that will encourage more industrialization. If you look at Nigeria map, you discover that the bulk of industry are located in Lagos Ogun. So this project under JICA, Lagos Ogun project, is going to increase the capacity of power delivery in that side, so that it will increase job opportunity and more production, more industries will grow in that area. Then, lastly, we have a project that we want to bring under, I've talked about World Bank, I've talked about African Development Bank, I've talked about Northern Corridor, I've talked about JICA. There are some new projects we are packaging now. Those ones, we are collaborating with state governments. By the time we finish, we already, in fact, if you look at the Guardian of Monday 11, we have just advertised some projects in Jigawa, Kano, and Katsina. We are going to create new substation at Misau, at Ningi, at Guaram, at in that axis we'll create new project there. Then of course we are liaising with the state government of Ekiti, where we are going to create a new station at Ilupeju and Ijesha-Ishu. Then in Kwara State, we are going to create a new substation in Kayama. In Oyo State, we are going to create a new substation that will be located, of course, at Shaki, Kishi, Iseyin. Iseyin is already having a substation at Oyo, so that we create another loop in that area too. So we have so many projects that we want to do. Some are in procurement stage now, like the one I discussed under African Development Bank. We are doing the procurement, is ongoing. Some of the projects in World Bank, we have awarded one on TR4, we call it TR4, that one is supply. The TR1, TR2, TR3, they are all under procurement now. Under JICA, we are almost completing our loan discussion now. Immediately we finish, and we get concurrent from the government of Japan. We have packaged our project that we want to do. We will launch them for procurement. So like that. So by the time we finish this one, by the overall effect of all this one is that we will be able to increase the capacity from 8,000 megawatts to 20,000 megawatts capacity, and TCN will be made to be robust. Before I forget, I want to also tell the Nigerians that TCN is also going to create a project that we call Eastern Backbone. The effect of this Eastern Backbone is that it will create another loop moving from Calabar to Ikom, from Ikom to Ogoja, from Ogoja to Kashimbila, from Kashimbila to Mambila, from Mambila to Jalingo, from Jalingo to Yola, Yola to Ong, Ong to Biu, Biu to Damatru, Damatru to Duse, Damatru to, it will move from Damatru to Azare, from Azare to Duse, from Duse it will now come back to Kano, a place called Jugana. Already we have packaged it. We are discussing with Agency for Foreign Development, AFD, to give us the loan. And as soon as that one is done, we'll put it on procurement, and we'll launch the project. We hope by the time we finish all these projects, there will be enough power to go around in this country, and it will take us from poverty, and it will create a lot of job employment in the country. Thank you.